up, Kryptonians? Welcome to the 800 sub Q&A. I'm glad you could join me. This video was technically supposed to be out a couple of days ago, but I got pushed to the side because, you know, life and job and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you are here, again, thank you for tuning into my videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please hit that button down below. I've got a lot of other great videos coming up for you guys. But today, to celebrate, because I feel like this is something we should celebrate as a group, I'm going to be answering some questions. Last week, I got on social media, got on Twitter, got on Facebook, got on YouTube, and asked people to ask me some questions if they wanted to hear me answer them. And so today, I'm going to be answering those questions. I will be calling you out by name just to let you know. The reason why I'm not doing this on a set or whatever is because, you know, I wanted this to be casual, and also because I just didn't feel like setting up and doing all that. You know, it's kind of a lazy day for me, and we're just going to do the Q&A the way we're going to do it. So this is how we're going to do it. Let's get this Q&A started. Let's start off the bat. I got them all here. Just some geeky guy from YouTube is asking me, what is my favorite male and female singer? My favorite male singer, I would say, is probably a toss-up between Musiq Soulchild and Neo. By the way, if this is an invitation for me to sing on camera, I don't think we've established that much trust yet for me to do that, so that's going to be a no for me, dog. My favorite female singer, I would probably say, is Mary J. Blige. Yeah, Mary J. is probably my favorite all-time female singer. Christina Wolf is asking me a moral question. She says, if you become like a big-time YouTuber and Marvel is trying to pay you $1 million to put ads on your videos, and then DC is doing the same thing, but they're going to pay you $600,000 instead, who would you sign with? I'd sign with DC, easily. I'd easily sign with DC. And it's nothing against Marvel, guys. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I've read Marvel comics for a good majority of my life. I like a lot of Marvel shit. It's just DC is love, okay? DC is family. DC is my wife. I'm not leaving my wife for another woman. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. Mike Wayman, what's up, Mike? He says, why is Superman your favorite hero? I actually get this question a lot, believe it or not. Superman is my favorite hero, partly because Superman was the first hero that kind of saved me from the world when I was a kid and my parents were divorced and I was kind of lost and I didn't feel like I had a home and I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. Superman, there was a Superman comic in a library that I picked up. It was by itself on the shelf, kind of discarded like me. And I realized that Superman was so awesome, man, because just like me, he didn't really have a home. He didn't really fit in anywhere, and he made the best of it, you know? Like, he has all these amazing superpowers, and he could be so much more. Like, I look up to Superman because I know that if I had his powers and abilities, I would be so much worse than I am today as a person. Like, I feel like with his powers, I would be Ultraman. Or I would be like Injustice Superman. I'd love to convince myself that I wouldn't be, that, oh, I'm a nice person and I would never do that. No. I'm pretty sure that I would not show the kind of restraint with his superpowers that he does. I just think that that's awesome. That's just something to aspire to. That's something to look up to, is this guy who has all this power and he chooses to do the right thing. He chooses to fight for what's right, and he fights for anybody, no matter who you are, you know, no matter where you're from. And I kind of connect with that, again, because Superman was an immigrant who, you know, his planet got blown up, and then he comes to Earth and he doesn't really fit in there. He's an alien among humans, and yet he wants to be one of them. And I don't know, I just found something very inspiring about that, and it just kind of connected with me as a kid. So that's why Superman's my favorite superhero. Joshua Milux. Dude, if I am butchering your name, feel free to unsubscribe. I'm so sorry right now. I'm going to just call you Josh, okay? Josh asks me, what is your favorite film genre? My favorite film genre is sci-fi. My favorite film genre is sci-fi. I love everything about sci-fi. I love the way that it promotes deeper thinking. Some of the best sci-fi has deeper philosophies and deeper ideologies about, you know, humanity and the future and technology and all that stuff. So I've always been drawn to sci-fi. It's just always a genre that's clicked with me more than any other genre. Ty Jensen asks, who is your favorite Spider-Man? And I think he means live action Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland combines a little bit of the best of both in terms of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But I think the best Spider-Man to date that I have seen portrayed on screen is Andrew Garfield. I think Andrew Garfield did the best job with the character of Spider-Man. It's a shame we didn't get to see what happened with the rest of his movies. But, you know, that's Hollywood. That's life. That's business. You know, it moves on. But it's a shame it moved on from Andrew, because I think that he could have been an even better Spider-Man if he had been given more opportunities to prove it. But till this day, I think he's probably my favorite live-action portrayal of the character. Martin Aguilar What's up, Martin? He asked me, what are your top 5 favorite Superman stories? Top of my head, I would go Superman Unchained. I would go The Death of Superman. I would go Superman Birthright. And then I would go probably Superman Earth 1. And then I'd probably go Secret Origin for the other one. Those are probably my top 5 favorite Superman stories. To be honest, Superman has a lot of amazing stories. There's too many to name, honestly. What's So Good About Truth, Justice, and the American Way? I love that one. That's one of my favorite Superman stories. All-Star Superman, that's one of my all-time favorite Superman stories, but I'd probably say it's those 5. Superman Unchained, Death of Superman, Superman Birthright, Secret Origin, and Earth 1. I would probably say those are my favorites. Ash also asks, who do I want to play Superman next? That's a tough question. I'd probably say Henry Cavill. My buddy Harrison Noble, what's up, buddy? He says, who do you predict for the main villain in the next Spider-Man movie? It's not helped by the fact that the director, John Watts, just came out and said if it was up to him, he would have Kraven in it. But to me, honestly, I think Chameleon versus Kraven, I think Chameleon and Kraven versus Spider-Man. Maybe you could do like a loose adaptation of Kraven's Last Hunt, which is a great story if you guys haven't read that. I'd love to see something like that happen. So I'd probably say if I had to choose one, it would be Kraven. It's about damn time that Kraven got his due on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly would love to see kind of like a team up between Chameleon and Kraven and them going after Spider-Man. Buddy Scott Crowell, or is it Scott Crowell? Scott? Great Scott. I'm going to just call you Great Scott. Great Scott asks, did you go to film school and what areas did you study if you did? Yes, I actually did briefly go to community college. I went to Ivy Tech for about a semester or 2. I did study film as one of the general studies there, program that linked to IUPUI, because IUPUI has got a great journalism and communications program and stuff like that, and it's great for the arts. I would say that I studied cinematography more than anything else. Everything involved with cinematography, lighting, color grading, color correction, shot selection, framing. Everything involved with cinematography is probably the area that I studied the most when I was studying in school. I did not finish. I am going back pretty soon. But yeah, I'd say cinematography. And yes, I did briefly study film when I went to Ivy Tech. Jason Sapp, fellow Patriots fan. What's up, buddy? He says, do you prefer Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score or John Williams' score from the old Superman movies? I would say Hans Zimmer's score is more emotional and it's more powerful to me, and it just gets me more hyped than anything. That's probably my favorite of the two. However, I will not deny that John Williams' score is definitely way more iconic. Like, it's just way more recognizable. Like, when you hear the John Williams score, you go, oh, okay, that's Superman. I don't know if Hans Zimmer's score is ever going to become that iconic, but for me, my personal favorite, which one do I like listening to more? It's the Hans Zimmer score, easily. Mahmoud M. Muhammad. I hope to God I'm pronouncing your name. Again, if I mess up anybody's name while I'm doing this, either dislike the video or like unsubscribe if you want. I totally get it. It's my bad. Asking me what movies did I like the most this year. My favorite movies this year, Fast Color, Hotel Mumbai, I would say Fighting with My Family, How to Train Your Dragon, Hidden World, John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, Us. I really loved Us as well. Movies like Endgame and Far From Home are somewhere in the mix. Mahmoud also asks me, what is better, boobs or booty? Let me preface this answer by saying that, in general, I love women, man. I freaking love women. Women are amazing. Women are awesome. And I love women. I love women, and women come in all kinds of sizes, shapes, and personalities and stuff like that. And women are queens. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that out there because it needs to be said. That being said, I'm a Miller, which means that I am all about the booty. I'm all about the booty. I'm an ass man through and through. Jake Jerome asked me, what is the most underrated comic book film of all time? It's hard not to go with Batman v Superman. Like, it's really hard. I know you guys know that I have a hard-on for Batman v Superman every time I talk about it. I would probably say that should be in the running for most underrated because I feel like that movie gets a lot of hate. And even years later, there are people that go out of their way to try to shit on it. And I think some aspects of the film are misunderstood or not fully appreciated. I feel like that's too easy an answer. I'd probably say Batman v Superman is the most polarizing comic book movie of all time, hands down. In terms of it in actuality, I'd probably say a movie like Unbreakable. I'd probably say Unbreakable is one of the most underrated comic book films of all time. Man, that shit is timeless. You go back, you watch Unbreakable, it's one of the best things I've ever seen. David Galloway, one of the funniest men on Facebook, asks me, which Superman would you pick to win in a fight out of all the live-action Superman? For me, it would probably have to be Christopher Reeve and or Brandon Routh, because I just feel like in terms of raw power, these two were the two most powerful that we've seen on screen. Doesn't necessarily mean they would win in a fight or whatever, but I don't know. I just feel more comfortable going with the most powerful live-action versions of Superman. And I feel like those two more or less were kind of loosely based off of the Silver Age version of Superman, so I kind of feel like those would be among the most powerful versions, and I'd be more comfortable with them in a fight. Elijah Graham asks me, should DC Films get a new distributor? No, I think Warner Brothers fine. I think DC has made some mistakes, definitely. They've slipped up. They've, they haven't done everything perfectly, no doubt about it. But I think that Warner Brothers is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they've put out a lot of great movies, man. They put out a lot of great movies, a lot of great franchises. Just because they've had some stumbles with DC doesn't mean that they're lost completely. Like Xavier said off of Days of Future Past, just because somebody stumbles and loses their way and they have a couple of slip-ups, it doesn't mean that they're lost forever. Like they said in Batman Begins, why do we fall? We fall so we can pick ourselves back up. I think DC is on the right track. I just feel like the fans are still split in two over what happened with Justice League and Zack Snyder, and I feel like that's just going to be a thing going forward. Either until Snyder gets his justice or until the DC movies reach such a high level of quality content that no one's going to be bitching about it anymore. Heston Bond, what's up, Heston? He says, what are your thoughts on Hobbs and Shaw? Hobbs and Shaw is the Fast and Furious spinoff that's coming out later on this year. It looks stupid, it looks ridiculous, it looks absurd to an unrealistic, cartoonish degree. And yet I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it because every so often, guys, cinema is an art form and you love great movies. You love great movies that make you think and make you feel and all that stuff. But every so often, you need to go to the movies and turn your brain off and just realize I am here to kick my feet back and watch stupid shit happen and be entertained by it. And Hobbs and Shaw looks like stupid shit, and I can't wait to see it. Chris Devine asked, if you could write or direct a DC film, who and why? If I could write and direct my own DC film, I'd probably go with The Question, one of those overlooked characters. He's a great detective. I would love to write a story about him investigating some stuff, maybe investigating some stuff that has to do with the bigger DC universe. I don't know, but I just feel like The Question should get his due, Kaylee asks, what size dildo do you use? In general, I am the dildo. That didn't sound right. God, fuck off. Why did I even answer this question? I don't know why I did. I'm sorry, people. Anybody that wanted a normal question, I'm sorry that Kaylee had to put her shit into it. But no, why would I? No, just stop. Guys, those are all the questions that I have today. Again, thank you for liking and subscribing to my videos. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I've got more videos coming up. Midsummer, Toy Story 4. Still got a video for Child's Play that I'm going to be doing. And The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Can't wait to review that for you guys. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. And if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.